What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Reynoso Noso. Christian Reynoso here. Super excited to be chatting with some up-and-coming talent today. Last time we talked to the legend Miguel Angel Torres. Today, we get to talk to a potential future legend, one of the hottest prospects from the Midwest, Datrelle, DKO Kozeluh. How you doing, Datrelle?
I'm good, Christian. How's it going, man? Nice to see you again.
Always good to see you, bro. It's always a pleasure to get a chance to catch up with you. You're one of the names that really stands out on an up-and-coming card right now. This weekend, Chicago Cagefighting returns. A big stack card, amateurs, pros. Your name stands out. Tell me how it's going, man. You got Nate Smith waiting to step into the cage against you. How's training been going leading up to this event?
Training's been going great. Training's actually done. At this point, it's just about maintaining and just doing the weight cut. Staying on top of things, the little tedious things. Just making sure that weight cut is perfect.
Well, obviously, you're able to dial things in at this point in your career because you've been around the block for a while. You're a name that not only has been around for a while, but you've been kind of main eventing. You've been getting that spotlight for quite some time. If I'm not mistaken, I think you were 18 years old when you started fighting. You came out the gate super hot. You had a great amateur career. And then you've been kind of main eventing and in the spotlight the whole time. From the amateur career now to an undefeated professional career. There's something special about a person that can embrace that. And clearly that's something you've been able to do. How is it that you're able to kind of balance all these things, grinding, and taking on some of that, I'm just going to say it, added pressure?
The big fight, the big show, the big lights. It's basically, I look at myself as a performer. Of course I'm an athlete, of course I'm a fighter as well, but I live for the big lights. Me in practice versus me in a fight is completely night and day. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I get like 10 attribute in each section when the lights get on, like 10 plus speed, 10 plus power, 10 plus attributes everywhere. And I just feel like I'm made for the big show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think it's clear that you're definitely one of those people that is on the radar of the bigger shows. You touched on the training room a little bit, so let's go ahead and head back there. You're coming out of MMA Stop, a team that I'm going to say just has a lot of momentum right now. There's a lot of fighters coming out of your gym that are starting to put themselves on the map. And like I said, you've been at the forefront of that. What's it like to not just be, leading, but leading from the front, right? Like you're a fighter, you're a role model at the team, and you're kind of carrying the torch for MMA Stop at the moment.
Well, first of all, shout out Trey Pierce, Eder Silva, Brandon Cullen. I know I'm forgetting like 10 people probably. Mark Black, those guys. People who come here and grind daily. Shout out those guys. Shout out the team. How it is leading. It's kind of something I had to grow into. Honestly, I've always been the one, like you said, the 18-year-old kid making his debut. People with eyes on me, looking at me as the young up and coming guy. So it's kind of different to be in a leadership role. It's something that I've had to learn to adjust, like, just being aware that these people are watching you, watching everything you do, watching your habits, stuff like that. So you have to be a good example, and I have a daughter as well, who's a combat athlete at this point. So it's important to do the right things and just, be a good leader and be a good example. It's something that, like I said, I had to get used to. I'm coming into, just be myself. Tell the guys the truth. Tell the guys my experience, my story on the way. I'm 25, 26 years old now. I started when I was 18, so that was 8 years ago. I've been through a lot since then. Been in a lot of fights since then. So basically, I'm a all around a good person. So it's just important to be myself. Don't try to fabricate anything and do everything the right way.
Well, you seem to have a good balance going right now, like in your personal life, along with what's going on in the cage. Outside of looking in, I'm just gonna tell it like I see it. I've been lucky enough to kind of watch a lot of your journey. I've seen you like mature inside the cage, and you touched on a little bit of the things that you've kind of had to grow into. I know you're a father. I see the social media posts. You're a good dad. I see you out with your daughter taking care of her. A lot of fighters. I'll speak for myself. I think I felt it a little too when I became a dad. Sometimes it's difficult to keep that edge, and it's a question of, am I going to turn it into like, is this going to be fuel for me to fight for this? Or, I'm a girl dad now, let's say. And, maybe if that means, You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel this is a real thing. Is that something you've experienced at all? Because I've seen the maturity, but is it something you're seeing or feeling when you're in the cage or in the training room?
It definitely brought out a soft side, you know, of course, naturally, now that I have a girl, you know. Um
Smile. It's that soft side.
yeah, for sure. Like she definitely got me wrapped around her finger. But it helps because like she can do everything a boy does. Like what I had to realize, right, as a dad, just because I have a daughter, right, does not mean that she can't do jujitsu. She can't do like do sports, you know, stuff like that. And you know, it's very good that wrestling now is growing with the girls, so that's great. As far as like bringing it out in the training room, I would say it has no different effect. It actually gives me motivation because she's here and she's watching me, and like I said, I have to be a good leader. She knows what a guard pass is. She knows what mount is. She knows what submissions are. So you know, if I'm slacking or doing something sloppy in the room, she's here watching me train. So you know, I have to be a good example in that area. You know what I mean? Doing things right. If she's in practice at 5 and I'm in practice at 7, if I told her this thing at 5, like, hey Z, I know this happened during this round, but you got to be tough and you got to get through it. And I go through the same thing at 7, and I don't display the same thing that I just expressed to my daughter. Then it makes me look like kind of like a hypocrite and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say it's been good for me.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, it's like it's a matter of like kind of being able to like channel it the right way. And
Yeah,
it seems like it's a similar sort of I mean, as a becoming a leader in the gym and at your team with all these guys behind you, I'm sure it's a similar, it's not the same, you know, with your kid, but it's similar sort of thing. Like you got to just kind of adjust and make sure everyone's doing the right thing.
oh
No,
yeah, and you know her mom, my fiance is very hands on. She's like I'm very, very thankful and grateful for her because she definitely was like, "Hey, Datrelle, she's gonna." I of course want her to cheer because Jess was a cheerleader as well, but she can do jujitsu as well. And Jess is actually her head coach. Like I am a coach, but I get to a task and I take it a little bit too serious sometimes. So I let Jess handle the most part, and she's the head coach of our Little Tigers program, which is great. Um, you know, G gets to look at her mom as a coach, and dad's just I'm here for the fun part. You know, I'm at the tournaments and and taking pictures when we get the gold. But my mom definitely is carrying a boatload of that.
yeah, it takes a village, man, especially like once you like your role changes a little bit, you're fighter and father. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. But we're here to talk about the fight, my man. I'm gonna go off topic here and there, but let's go ahead and head back to that fight. You're facing off against Nate Smith. He's your most experienced, I say, opponent. You know, one of your most experienced opponents to date. He's fought for some bigger shows. He fought for the LFA.
For LFA belt, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. You know, it's a guy. It's certainly an opportunity to test yourself. I hesitate to say test yourself. You fought guys like Oscar Jurado. You fought guys like Ronnie Hauser as an amateur. You've been testing yourself from the beginning. So I don't want to misrepresent your
Thank you for
situation.
that. I get a lot of shit from people saying, "Oh, DKO ain't fought a hard fight, motherfucker." I've been fighting hard fights since I was 18, so 8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought guys, man.
Well, wasn't the most experienced guy, but you know that just goes. You know, you gotta take care of yourself and your career. You can't be out here just saying fucking yes, yes, anything. You know, but I definitely have hard fights in my career. You know what I mean? Which I appreciate you for pointing that out, Christian. Not a lot of people do their homework before interviewing people, so that was definitely something that I appreciate.
But yeah, I appreciate you noticing. I'm here for you guys, right? At the end of the day, I'm dressed up like a nerd and I sit in the broadcast booth, but I got the ears, dog. I got the scars, bro. I was once to you guys, man.
Yeah,
We
I
remember
remember
you guys.
fucking you refed one of my jiu-jitsu matches when I was like 7 years old, bro.
I did?
Yeah. I remember you were like, "Oh, this kid looks like he might know something. This would be a good man." And you said that about me.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. I think it was like it was somewhere in Hammond, I believe. Maybe like C3 or something it was called. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, yeah, I've been around, bro. I've been around for a minute, man. And with that being said, dude, like I said, I've been able to see guys that come out the gates hot. Truthfully, I did it in my own career. I came out the gates hot. You know, the momentum was real. And personally, I'll be vulnerable with you, homie. Like when I turned pro, I struggled. I made some of the wrong decisions, took bad fights, and things didn't work out for me when I finally did turn pro. And when I see guys like you that you did the hard fights, you put in the hard rounds, you're out there training with tough guys. To see guys giving you shit for the decisions you make, I think it's ridiculous. And who gives a shit what they think, right? You know, at the end of the day, lions don't really worry about the opinions of sheep. So at the end of the day, you keep doing you, bro. It's really, I love seeing guys like you that are doing things right and keeping that momentum going. That being said, let's go back. You're 3-0. You're taking on Nate Smith, the guy that's, oh, I'm so sorry. My apologies. Now 4-0, my apologies. Yeah, yeah, Tom DeLeon, Ernest Walls, and Darius Miller.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name, bro. So
I do my homework. I just misspoke for a sec.
you know the stuff that nobody else knows. So
I got you, bro. I got you. But now you're taking on Nate Smith. Like I said, tough dude. He's looking to do. I mean, he's got some losses on his record, but he's got a lot of experience. Similar boat to you, man, and in the sense that he's just ready to take that next step to the big show. Ready to get catapulted. Y'all are looking to do it on each other's backs. What's happening at Chicago Cagefighting?
I mean, elephant in the room. I mean, we know. Honestly, Christian, we know. You know, I know what's gonna happen. You know, I'm gonna win. By any means necessary. You know, I don't care how it looks. I'm just gonna do whatever it takes to get my hand raised. Be ready to die. Damn, 1000%. It's live or die. I don't even know what I'm doing the day after because I don't know if I'll be alive. I'm ready to die. I'm prepared, but I'm also ready to kill. So let's go.
As far as mentalities go, kill or be killed, an absolute warrior, a gladiator. Bro, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So good to have a chance to sit on and talk to you. You've got this huge fight. You're days away. Most guys in your situation would be grouchy as hell and wouldn't want to sit on and talk to me. I appreciate your time. Any final thoughts, love, shout outs, anything you want to give before we wrap this up, my friend?
I want to shout out all my family and friends. Shout out to you, Christian, man. This is the best interview I've done this fight camp so far, which is great. People need to go ahead and grab them one of these. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Limp. And thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I am going to say, I'm going to put on record, I want one of those DKO shirts. I like to, bro. I'm very, he was hotter. So, beautiful. Thanks so much, my friend. Fans, tune in as DKO steps inside the Chicago Cage Fighting Arena once again, putting it all on the line against a very, very tough opponent in Nate Smith. It all goes down June 7th, Cicero Stadium. Get your DKO drip. Get your tickets. If you can't make it, Cicero Stadium, tune in at millions.co and don't miss a beat. Thank you so much, my friend. I'll see you on the 7th.